Hello everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and in today's video I'm getting ready to make a birthday present for my sister. So not long ago I was down in Florida visiting with my family and I had this set on and she really liked it. So I'm not going to make the exact same set, but I'm going to make one very similar for her. These are the beads I'm going to use. They're a little bit more bluer, which I know she really likes this color blue. She told me this was her new favorite color. So that's going to be perfect. Now all I need to do is find some seashells. As far as beading wire goes, I could do, the way I did this, and I do have a video of it, is I just use fishing line. But I may use beading wire instead. I do need to have that for the earrings. And I've got to go through my stash of bead caps. I think bead caps add a lot to a piece. They just bring it over the top. I need some ear wires. Let's see what we have here. Oh, I've got some crystals in there, so I could use those. That'll be good. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on here. I'm going to need some jump rings. I need to find my chain. Let me go get that. And we need to dig around. I've got a shell stash here. And we need to find some shells. We need to find 3 of them. 2 that match almost exactly, and 1 that's for the earrings and 1 for the necklace. All right, let me go get the chain and then we'll dig through these. Found my chain. This is stainless steel chain, so that's going to be good. All right. I'm just going to start laying out a bunch of shells here that have holes in them. I'm not really looking at what they look like, just that they have holes in them. There's a lot of them with holes in them. Let's see. Oh, that one doesn't have a hole in it. That has a hole in it in a weird spot. And I know that Tammy likes petite stuff. She doesn't like things that are really big. Oh, we got all kinds of shells here. I forgot how many I had. Okay. Let me move these over. I know I don't want brown. We're not using brown, so I can disregard those. This is really pretty, but I'll have to say it's very thin. I actually have earrings made with shells like this, and I love them. I wear them a lot, but because I have to mail this, I'm a little leery to put something like that in the mail. It may get crushed. So all the really thin shells can be put aside. All right, I've kind of narrowed it down a little bit. I want to show you this though. I really like this a lot. I think I'm going to wire that up. Not right now, but wouldn't that make a really pretty piece? I'll set that aside. And this too, I like that. All right, it was easy to get sidetracked in all those really pretty shells. So I think I'm going to not use these because they're not white. I want white. This would make a really good set. A little bigger than I wanted. This would make a pretty good set. This would be kind of cool also to make a very tiny little necklace. This would make a good set. So we got earrings and a necklace. We have earrings and a necklace, earrings and a necklace. Now, when you're picking out your shells, you do need to remember, this is nature. They're not going to be exact. No two pieces are ever going to be exact. So keep that in mind. You may have little imperfections like this right here. It looks like a little piece was chipped off, but it's very, very smooth. So I'm all right with it being a little bit broken. That's nature. I'm kind of leaning toward these because they are smaller. That's about the same size as I used for these. So I'm actually going to put these aside because they'll make good sets for another time. But this is what we're going to use. I'm going to get my beads out. Oh, those are going to be pretty. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. Isn't that cool? Found that on the beach too. All right, we need some bling. I don't have a whole lot of these crystals. Oh, I made a mess. All right, that claw made a mess. Let me clean my mess up. I'll be right back. All right, so I think I've picked out all the beads I want. I'm probably going to need a little bit more of these crystals. But instead of using bead caps, I'm going to just use these daisy spacers. And let's see, I want to make it about the same length as this. I'm just going to lay this out right here. And I'm using wire instead of beading wire. I'm using craft wire. All right, I'm just going to start with a spacer bead. And then just start every other bead, put a spacer in between. Okay, let me think. Wonder if I have enough to do crystals in between. And I am being a little picky on my beads that I'm picking out. They are a lot of different colors. I think I'm going to pretty much, well, see, we got blue. So you've got some, maybe I'll get a little bit of white in here. We'll put some white because we got the white seashells. Whoops. Where'd that white bead go? There we go. Oh. And we'll use this one. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, about, okay. This right here's got smaller beads in addition to the larger beads. So I'm probably not going to need as many. Let's see. I do need to get my focal ready. Whoops. Runaway bead. Okay. Let me go ahead and get I think that's going to be a good size. Oh no! This doesn't have a hole in it. I thought for sure it had a hole in it. Okay. Back to the drawing board. All right, I just stole the shell. This was the earrings and the pendant. Those other two I had picked out, so I just took that. I thought for sure that one had a hole in it. Oh well. Hopefully this will be a big enough jump ring. I think it will. Yes. There we go. Okay, let's continue to do this. I think I'm going to do another blue bead. Let's get some more of those daisy spacers. This one's kind of weird. Well, might be able to get that out of there. I think there's, yeah, it was just a little plastic thing. Oh, look at that. I wanted to end, okay, we're going to do this. We'll go ahead, need some more daisy spacers here. Okay, we'll make this one a little bit longer than mine. See, I like to have the blue, and with a little white, it looks nice on there next to the shell instead of having a crystal next to the shell. So now I'm just going to, I want to make sure of something here. I don't think I'm going to put a daisy spacer there. I think that daisy spacer has the potential of going through that jump ring, and we don't want that. And that jump ring can kind of act as the same as a daisy spacer there. See, that looks good. All right. So we've got a daisy spacer and a crystal. Another daisy spacer. And a lighter blue, another daisy spacer, crystal. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're not skipping a bead or anything. Okay, so now I want a bead that's got some white, a lot of white in it. Let's see what I have on this. I think this one will work. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? I want to do more of a blue one there. I mean, you're not going to be able to match them exact, but you want them to kind of look a little uniform. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you want them to be all different. All right, I'm going to finish speeding these up, and then I'll come back and show you how I do my wrappings. All right, I have them all done. It's a little bit longer, but that's okay. It'll just, it's like a bead on each side longer, and that's it. But I really wanted to end with, I didn't want to end with the crystal. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap some loops and hang our chain and then do some measuring. So you want to get your chain out. You want to get your round nose pliers out. Let me zoom out here. And now this is where it's going to be a little different. You can use beading wire. I used fishing line. I've got a video about that, about how I use fishing line. And then I just use a clamshell bead cap for my crimp beads. But for this, you don't need to do all that. So I'm going to make it about like that. And you don't need a jump ring right now either. You could hang jump rings on here, but you really don't need to. So I'm going to go about that far down on my pliers and wrap a loop. But before I start actually wrapping, I'm going to put the chain on like that. I'm going to hang on to this. And you can wrap a messy loop or a neat one, whatever is your style. Okay. And you want to make sure that you tuck that little burr in there. Otherwise, the person that wears this will get scratched up. We don't want that. Then I'm going to feel around. It's still scratchy a little bit, so work on that a little bit more. There we go. And then I'm just going to feed all my beads down. Where's my ruler? Here it is. All right, so I want this to be about an 18-inch chain necklace, and that's including the lobster claw clasp. Lobster claw clasp is going to be about an inch, so I will be measuring 17 inches, which this ruler is actually 18 inch, so that's pretty good. But so I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna measure at 17. I can't zoom out enough for, well, I'm gonna put it down here. I'm gonna start right there, and then I'm just gonna measure to the end. Now, because this is a stainless steel chain, I don't use my regular wire cutters. I use my memory wire cutters. Stainless steel is very, very tough. And I don't want to damage my my good pliers. And those memory wire cutters are meant to cut stainless steel. All right, back to your round nose pliers. Again, I'm going to go about right down there. I want to leave enough room for my wrap. And let's see, I have to cut it. Left-handed, how about that? Before I start wrapping though, again, I need to put the chain on. And I'm not going to wrap that whole thing. That's a little much there. I'll probably wind up cutting some of this off. And again, we want to tuck where'd it go? I know it's in there somewhere. There it is. It was hiding. Now, I love making jewelry for other people like this. I am very grateful that I'm able to make jewelry as gifts. I love seeing people opening their stuff. It's really a lot of fun. All right. We're not quite done yet here. I think I'm going to put a bigger jump ring on this. I want it to hang down a little further than that, so. Let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, yes, that's gonna work much better. That other one was just a little too tight. It was almost big enough, but not quite. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put the clasp on, and I'm just measuring to see where the middle is. And fortunately with this one, there's one little link that hangs down. If there's two links that hang down, just pick one, it doesn't matter. Clip it, and then you're gonna need a jump ring to attach it. Let's see. I use two sizes of jump rings. I'm going to use a smaller one and a larger one. Whoops. And I'll show you why in just a second here. Let's get these open. It has taken me forever to get used to these nails. And they are mine. They don't look very good. Oh, well. Oh, I want to make sure that this lobster claw works. Sometimes they don't. Like, okay, that one works. All right, so opened up your jump ring. You put one side of the necklace in there. You put your lobster claw clasp in there. And then you close it up. Make sure it's closed tight. That's the small jump ring. This is the larger jump ring. Open it up. There we go. And we're done with our necklace. And once she gets it on, she can kind of mold it to how she wants to wear it. Some people want them a little narrower, some want it wider. But that is our necklace. Now for the earrings. So the way I did mine was like that. Tammy does like her earrings smaller, so I'm only going to use one bead. Let's kind of look through here and pick out a couple beads that look good together. Oh, those look good together. They've got a little bit of white in them. I think I like the bluer ones. Do I have enough crystals? Yes, I do. So I need 2 crystals. And let me get those daisy spacers back out. You know, the techniques I use to make my jewelry are pretty much all the same thing. It's just the configuration of beads on how you put them. That is different. So basically, I'm just going to do this and hang that down. So we're using the 20 gauge wire. I'm going to put the beads on like so. This is the top. I'm working at the bottom first. And I want a big loop here because I want it to dangle. And if it's a small loop, it's going to be real non-dangly. So I'm going to go way down here. Put my shell on. Okay. And wrap it up. And that's going to dangle really nicely. Again, you want to make sure you tuck all your ends in. Oh, that's going to be nice, yes. All right. Now this loop is going to be smaller. It doesn't have to be very big. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it so because I can open up the ear wire. Twist that around. Open up my ear wire, make sure I hang this correctly. I think I opened it wide enough. You do need to be a little careful. I have opened these sometimes and they have broken on me. That is not fun. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. And I just kind of turn it to make sure it is facing in the right direction. Close her up. Boom, bam, boom. We got us an earring. Let me finish the other one and then I'll show you what we've made together. And there we go. It's all done. It's not exactly like mine, but it's very, very similar. Let me show you. They're almost identical. Mine has a little bit more of a green tint to it. I really like these beads. They're very, very pretty. But I pretty much used the same shells. Crystals are different. The spacer beads / bead caps are different. The chain's the same chain. Like I said, they're almost identical, but they're a little different. And I did make them differently. This is used with fishing line. This is with actual craft wire. I can't wait to get this wrapped up and sent to her. She still has about a month or so before her birthday, so she's going to have to wait. Anyway, let me know, do you make jewelry for any of your loved ones as gifts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me, and y'all have a great day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.